Okay, I think we got it now. Hi, I am D Ocean of D Ocean's Deep Woo. I don't know why my mic was muted there. Oh, well, it wouldn't be D Ocean's Deep Woo if we didn't have some kind of technical stuff going on, right? Hey, Paradox Fossils. Hi, Rebecca Broom. How you doing? So basically, I am the ocean of the ocean's deep blue, and here we do the deepest of blue. Absolutely, this is a mystical place. Um, if you have come here, you probably are interested in metaphysical, spiritual, paranormal, all of that sort of thing. And that's what we do. We do all that. I am a shamanic practitioner for, let's see, decades now. Not even sure how many, at least 3 decades now. And a medium, clairvoyant, reader, energy worker, researcher, everything. Just, I like knowledge and I like helping people. And I like helping people understand things. So I am feeling great right tonight. My new regimen of what I'm doing for myself, my health, is really working. And I still have a little bit of variation, but pretty much I'm so much better than I was when I started all this. I got pretty sick for a while. There have been times when my health has been really up and down, but I seem to be on a good path right now. So let's hope that continues. But with fibro, it's hard to know. But it's a very tricky thing. And I know some of this that has happened to me that I'm dealing with is also a spiritual matter. And that's one of the things, though, that got me on this path is with so many shaman, something happens to you. It leads you to question. And that questioning leads you to learn. And that learning leads you to become a shaman. Because most of us who are what they call neo shamans or actually have been shamans in other lives. So it's more a process of remembering. And so if you're here, you probably have some things to remember too, whether you know you do or not. Hello, James Ortiz. How are you doing? Look like Paradox Fossils was here waiting for a minute. As far as I know, my ancestors on my mother's side were where the Native Americans were. And they were Cherokee, and my great grandmother's name was Whitehorse, Emma Whitehorse. And she has passed a lot of things down to me in spirit form, I think, because yeah, somehow I was just had to be on this path. One of the things that one of my goals with this show is to entertain and inform. And I have a sense of humor, and you're going to hear it. I make terrible jokes sometimes. Sometimes I make real good ones, though. Oh, and by the way, there's Mr. Wonderful, the star of the show. He's practicing his lounging. He's working towards being a lounging champ again this year. So, he's very hard at work there lounging. Um, but I pretty much always was interested in spiritual things, but for a long time I was more scientific. I went more scientific. But it was after my near-death experience that I started to really take an interest, serious interest, because well, that kind of thing will change you. So I had a complete death premonition. I was told exactly how I was going to die. And I did. I had an NDE and revived and brought back some information from that trip. And so that was really, I think, the start of me being my actual shamanic path. Although it wasn't the start of everything, it was the start of being interested in shamanism. Quite often in shamanism, you will have a death. Sometimes, usually an ego death, but sometimes a physical death. So, been there, done that. The t-shirt is made out of buckskin, I think, but oh, well, good, Broom, Rebecca Broom. What a cool name. Yeah, Cowboy he's mostly chilling. That's mostly what? I'll tell you, Cowboy is very good at chilling. He's really good at it. I mean, he's got a talent for chilling. He really does. I could learn from him. Okay, so tonight, one of the things, yes, wanted to say, one of the reasons I do this show, I do have a strong desire to get my own godlike superpowers back that we should have. And I want to help you get that too, because I think this is what needs to happen. And I think we need it to happen before everybody gets a chip in the brain or something, is all of the things that they're promising with that we can have naturally, completely naturally. And I feel very strongly about that. So one of the things I'm doing on this show is helping everybody and myself get back our godlike superpowers that we're supposed to actually have. And there's all kinds of evidence that we were really meant to be a lot more than we are now doing. It's very obvious our DNA has been tinkered with. The fused chromosome, the capped telomeres, it's all signs of tinkering. Okay. So it's very obvious we have been tinkered with. And there is no reason other than that, and other than what's in our mind, what we are storing in what I call our iceberg, our subconscious, keeping us from actually having the same abilities as any other. Here's the funny thing. All ETs, as far as we know, all ETs have, for instance, telepathy, mind speak, all of them. There are some things that all of them can do, except us. We can't do this, but we can. We can only not do it because we don't know we're doing it. I had no idea that I was mind speaking until I actually got some solid proof. I mean, I heard about it and I heard about the concept. Mine speaks a little different from what I can think of as telepathy. Telepathy would be more probably words, but mind speak is more the idea of. You get the idea of something in your head. Not very often is it words, although it can be. It's subtle, it's almost dreamlike. And I did find out that yes, I was actually doing it when I asked for a sign that if I am really mind speaking with you, will you please give me some sign that this is in fact the case? And I got it. And I have told this story before. So I think really we all should be able to have these things. And there's a need for it now. Like I said, we're coming to the part where they're going to shine people on that they need to get a chip in their head to have all this. And that is BS. That will block any further development, any further natural development with this species. Absolutely. We need to develop this. We need to develop it as fast as I can figure out how to help us do this. Me and other people are working on this. We need to get this stuff back to forestall this whole argument. A lot of people going way down the wrong path. You do not need tech in your head to have these godlike superpowers. They are our birthright, and we are going to get them back. Okay. Hey, Gemini, how you doing? It's jumping Gemini. Gemini's always jumping. She is a busy woman. And she knows what a woman is. Everybody here know what a woman is? Good. I thought so. Pretty sure. Yeah. Some of the cryptids, kind of hard to tell, but you know, at least we know among ourselves. Okay, so that is really part of why I do this show. The other one is I love connecting with people who are like me. I don't have that many people around here that I can really connect with who are interested in this kind of thing right now. I used to have a boatload and I don't anymore. We're all scattered all over the place now. And some of them being older people are passed on. So, you know, kind of, it's kind of lonely sometimes. Yes, little cowboy kitty, he's right here lounging. I showed little cowboy. He's just. You're not asleep. Oh, you aren't asleep. No, you're just pretending. You're just lounging, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Purr, purr, purr. He says purr, y'all. Okay, so what I wanted to discuss is brain, heart, gut coherence. And one of the reasons I wanted to discuss that is because it is one of the ways to get back what we have been denied. Science discovered some time ago that there were actually cells in the heart that were like brain cells. And they were basically like another brain in the heart. I predicted right after that, I said, okay, they're going to find them in the gut too. Sure enough, they did find them in the gut too. This is why you have gut instincts and intuition. This is why your heart can tell you things. This is why your brain can tell you things. Okay, your brain, your heart, and your gut all think for you. I'm not sure that there aren't maybe other organs. I know a few people that I think maybe other organs think for them, but we won't go into that, okay? Yeah. Okay. But yes, exactly like the brain, neurotransmitters. And so we really need to get them into coherence, which means they're all working together. Okay. And there are techniques to do this. There are techniques to do this, and I aim to do that, but I aim to do it after we've had our discussion, because if I do it beforehand, I have this wonderful ability to put people to sleep with my voice. If I start talking in a calm voice, telling you to breathe, you can very easily nod off. So, yeah, we'll do that at the very end. So in case you fall asleep, you don't miss the rest of the discussion. um, so yeah, add good ingredients. That's right. That's right. One of the best things I can say is absolutely be careful what you put in the computer, huh? Your brain is kind of like a computer, just garbage in, garbage out, okay? That's what I'm saying. Keep the garbage out. Don't let the garbage get in there in the first place, and you won't have to clear it out. Another way I explain this is our iceberg. Now, the thing about it is, our subconscious is like our consciousness. I liken it, well, to two different things: an onion and an iceberg. What do those have in common? Well, no, I'm going to explain again. Because an iceberg, the part you see is only just the very tip, just the tip. Yeah, that's what they say. There's so much more behind that, isn't there? Under that, um, that that is not usually the part that sinks your boat. What sinks your boat is what's under that, what's below sea level, the subconscious. And so, what is in your subconscious? That is what seems to generate every darn thing. Okay. Um, so basically, there are things we can do to chip away some of the things we don't want in that subconscious. So I do clearings, and I do some processes that help you clear away the stuff that's in there. But here's where the onion comes in. There are layers. There are layers of stuff, and sometimes many layers. This is why you will be clearing away things, clearing away. Um, and then you think you've got it done. You're done with it. Oh, yeah, I'm done with that finally. Oh, thank God. And then it comes back up again. Now, it isn't that you didn't clear it. It's just that it's another layer. Okay. Because these things form in kind of layers. I mean, it's kind of like that. So this is then coming back up another layer, is becoming uncovered for you to resolve that one too. So never be discouraged if something comes back up. It's not really coming back up. It's just another layer of it. And eventually you get to where there are no more layers of that particular thing. But a lot of times it skips around. So, hey, Mary Wins, how you doing, sweetheart? Um, so basically, you need to keep going. Even if you feel like, oh my God, I've cleared this several times now. Why is this back? It's back because it was embedded pretty deep. You have several layers, okay? Maybe a bunch. And this is why when we do the clearing statement, we say times godzillion. We don't know how many lifetimes, how many ways, how many layers there could be under there, because your soul is eternal and you carry everything around in there, all kinds of things around in your iceberg underneath there. That subconscious carries a lot of stuff under there. So once we clear that, the more we clear it, the lighter you'll be. And then more will also surface as it's less heavy, less bottom heavy. You will see more of your real personality surface. So it's very much like an iceberg in that regard. So, but I really want to impress on you, your subconscious is unlimited and very powerful. Okay. You are divine. You have a spark of God. You are divine. You are literally a creator. You are creating all this. Or shall I say, our subconscious is creating all of this. Okay. So what happens in your life is in there. It's in there. The answers really are in you. Getting to that in there is one of the things that I'm bound to do and help you do. Lots of thinking and communicating. Well, good for you, Rebecca. Typing is radical. Hey, Cheddar Swiss. You're a witness up to interpret it all. Oh, goodness. Cheddar Swiss. That sounds pretty tasty. I have some Swiss Gruyere shredded cheese in there. I had on an omelet earlier today. Oh, if we get talking food talk, we'll never talk anything else, though. I'll tell you what. Let me play my lovely intro that I worked so hard on and see if anybody else shows up. And then we're really going to get into this, okay? And we're back. And, ooh, well, so anybody else make it in yet? So they colonized eternity. Colonizing eternity, sure. Mortality took a long time to teach us, well. Mortality. That's another thing. I don't believe we have to die. I really don't. I don't believe we really have to die. And we certainly don't have to die to leave our bodies. We really don't. We don't have to die to leave our bodies. It happens all the time. I leave mine. I've known other people who've left theirs. I left mine. Don't realize it a lot of times, but people who ascend, go through an ascension process, leave their bodies behind. Some of them just transform their bodies. So I don't believe, first of all, I don't believe that we have to die until we doggone are ready to leave our body behind. And there are races who I don't think probably do die until they're ready to just go on. And I don't know about you, but I like to have the choice again, right? So basically, having our systems in better shape, in working order, that's probably a prerequisite, our energy systems. Because let's face it, the physical body is just a manifestation of the energy body, of the energy of the subconscious. It is an avi that we use to interact here. And so everything that is going on with our avi, there is something going on in our subconscious. Okay. That is really causing that. And it just looks like it's it looks like it's on the outside. Everything that is happening on the inside. So basically, all those Doritos. All these Doritos. Anyway, so you find that you're having issues. Your subconscious can solve every one of your issues. And one of the things I will help install for you tonight, and then it is good if you reinforce this regularly and tell yourself this. I will install the program, my or reinstall, because it probably was there at one point, my subconscious, my limitless subconscious is handling all my issues. We'll say it's something like that, because I have been using this. And since I have been using that, it's been solving everything that comes up. I keep thinking, what am I going to do about this? What am I going to do about that? And then I think to myself, okay, my subconscious is going to solve this. If it really needs to be solved, my subconscious is going to find a way to solve this, and it's just going to be solved. My limitless, by the power of my limitless subconscious, that's how we say it. The power of my limitless subconscious is solving every issue. Because when you allow it to do that, and it's doing it for my good, when you do that, you are unleashing a lot of power. You are telling your subconscious, okay, go for it. There's all kinds of answers to everything. Go for it. Solve it. Hey, Junking Data Girl, how you doing, honey? How's your channel? You still doing the selling the stuff? I got to get back to that, but I just keep getting so busy. But I have a whole bunch of stuff I need to sell. Oh, subconscious guidance is what, yeah, gut there. That's exactly what I'm saying. Your, it has to do with that. It has to do with that. Your subconscious is not really attached to an organ. It is, however, attached to you, your being. It is part of your being. It is the most part of your being. It is the biggest part of your being. Actually, it seems that this is probably the biggest part of you is your subconscious. So, getting in touch with it and letting it take the lead to make your life better is a great thing. It has helped me so much. I am so much calmer than I was. I am so much better than I was. Letting it give you some guidance, letting it solve things for you. So we will install that tonight. I've run that program before. I hope you do take it to heart and just say it. Say it. The limitless power of my subconscious, or however you want to say it in a positive way, is solving all my issues. Because you really are unlimited. And we have this idea that please, whatever you do, don't think you're just this body. Now, this body may be an outgrowth of how you see yourself or your consciousness. However, it is not your consciousness. It is only a representative, a representation, an avi, like your avatar pictures are next to your name. It gives you a way to interact with, it represents you in this domain. So you need your body, you need to respect it, take care of it, you know. You can change it and update it from time to time, right? It sometimes updates itself. However, I guess what we really all want, we want to arrive at a ripe old age still feeling good, still looking good, still functional. Nobody wants to decay, right? Especially not while you're still alive. And a few years ago, I was very sick. I mean, I had all kinds of things wrong. And I really wondered if I was dying a few times. And really, sometimes when you're detoxing, if you go through a detox program of any kind, you're going to have times when you're wondering if you're dying because you get rid of all of the crap. You're going to go through it again. A lot of my stuff that I've gotten rid of, I had to go through the pain of it again in order to get rid of it. Only briefly, though. So basically, you're probably going to feel it again, but probably only briefly. Sometimes you just skip over all that, but a lot of times you end up feeling almost the same pain, like some of my injuries and stuff before they got corrected. But just persevere, you'll get through it. Once you get through to the other side, you will be healed of that layer anyway. There may be another layer of it, but you'll feel a lot better. The other thing is, and I hate to say this, I have had to keep improving the way I behave to my poor little Evie. I shouldn't say it that way. I just feel sorry for it because I have abused it quite a bit through the ages, right? So my robust and very healthy Evie, I have abused it from time to time, quite a bit when I was younger. And it's good to keep your Evie in good shape. So I have had to improve. I find improving my diet and everything, it helps a lot. I got rid of sugar and I got rid of wheat because both of those things are weapons. And now these days they are toxic and poison. So I, there are just things that I took out of my my diet to help this along. But truly, if you get your subconscious clear enough, it wouldn't matter what you had. You would be okay because your subconscious would override that. So when we get to a certain point, it won't freaking matter what anybody throws at us. Our subconscious will be able to override it. And I know because I've done this a few times. I know it is possible. I am trying to find exactly what the formula was so I can repeat it. And I think I've got some clues. I'm going to share it with you. Ah, my little Abby. It sounds like My Little Pony or something, right? My little Abby. Well, because you're vast, you're huge, you're limitless. Your being can no more fit in this little Abby. It just interfaces with it. You're, as a matter of fact, right now, one of the exercises I always have people do is just kind of feel where the edges of your being are. It's kind of silly, it's not the edges of your body, is it? No, it's nowhere near. And wherever the edges seem to be, just let that expand out. Think of yourself as expanding. And you will find that you can feel a sense of expansion. And I don't mean gaining a whole lot of weight or anything, like an expanding belly, but I mean you can feel your being expand. And also get out all of the little crimps and wrinkles that you've made trying to cram yourself into your little Abby because it doesn't fit. Okay, and just let your Abby be there in your vast, tremendous being interfacing instead of trying to cram yourself into a tiny avatar. Okay. Now, I have seen people do this with like in games, in games where you have an avatar. I've seen people get so into their avatar that they have totally forgotten about this avatar. They're in their avatar. In fact, one time it really gave me quite a startle when I started to see auras around the avatars in a game. I'm like, well, these people are literally ensouling their avatars. Oh my gosh, now I get it. Because they're so intent on what their avatar is doing, they're ensouling their game avatar. I didn't know that was possible, but apparently we can do that. And a lot of times, a lot of them were not well. And I think a lot of it was they were trying to put themselves into their gaming avatar when their body avatar, this little one avatar right here, needed attention, you know? And I don't think it was healthy, really. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. It could be that we can do all that at once, but it seemed like a lot of them had physical issues with this Abby. So, yes. Hi. And yeah, I Titan 70. Hey, Titan. Hi. So basically, as we take back our godlike powers, which are really our natural abilities that we should be having, we should take care of our Abby. And because that's how we interface with this place, this realm. So I also give you tips. Okay, tips on how to take care of your heavy that I've found that work for me, because I've had so much wrong with me. I had so many things wrong with me, that I had to correct. And in my iceberg too, and I'm still working on it. Okay, so um, we'll learn together some things. Okay, but when you get your brain, your heart, and your gut working, manifestation becomes much easier. And this is what I've heard from some of the experts. And uh, basically, coherence is what it is called, and it is just getting all of your energy centers to cooperate. Because I know you've all had times when your heart and your head don't match. Your heart is saying this, your head's saying that, your gut's saying, whoa, right? I mean, so, maybe you think you're in love and your heart is, or somebody no, I got a better one. Somebody's telling you a sob story. Your head is saying, I don't know about this. Well, I don't know. And trying to go through all the logic stuff. Your heart is going, oh, gee, I really want to help this person. That's such a sad story. But your gut is saying, huh, it seems to me like there's something fishy about all of this, right? Right. Or uh, anytime you're in a situation like that where they're not all agreeing, how do you get the coherence? Okay, there is a breathing technique. And also, wherever you touch is where your attention goes. So, what we'll be doing, so nobody's afraid, what are we going to be doing? We're going to be touching ourselves. Just touching our heart and touching our gut area. Okay, when we do this breathing, and that is going to help synchronize them all. And the more you do that, the better you'll get at aligning them all. And when you align them all, you're going to be functioning much better. Yes. So, another thing you can do that I tell people to do is you can align your own chakras. You don't need to go somewhere to get your chakras aligned. You can sit up straight. And you know how to do this just as easily as you know how to move your arm. You don't think about, oh, I'm got to move my arm. How do I do that? How do I get my hand to move? No, you don't think about it. You just do that, right? Okay, so you can just do this, honestly. I'm going to tell you. Just sit up straight, with your spine straight. Move all your chakras back to your spine. Weird, huh? Can you feel that? I always can. And then get them to snap to grid right there on your spine, just aligned real perfect. Snap. Now, if they don't, you may have to work on kind of moving them. And if you can't get them to align, there's usually some kind of blockage or something, and you have to look at that and clear that blockage and handle that blockage. But usually meditation can correct these things. So localizing attention. Exactly. Localizing attention. That the reason that you are here in this reality and a multitude of infinite realities to choose from is because your attention's in this one. This is the one you're attending to. This is the one you're attending. What does it mean to attend something? You're giving it your attention. You're attending. You're attending a party. You're there. That's where you are. So you are giving the lion's share of your attention to this particular reality. Although there are literally an infinitude of realities that you could be using. And that is called, that technique whereby you move in between them is called quantum jumping. And we also work on that too here. Right. Well, this one is the most important one because this is the one that you're paying attention to. They're all happening, though, simultaneously. You can move to an adjoining one where you have one of the abilities that you covet, that you know you should have. You can do that. That has actually been done by people and being taught. I've done it myself. Sometimes you can move in a big way and sometimes you can move in a small way. Like, sometimes you move maybe one step over and then sometimes you move one step beyond, right? I've had it happen. I really think this is where some of the personal Mandela effects come from. And by personal Mandela effects, I don't know about you, but I've had several. I've had actually a lot of them. Ever since I died, I had a bunch of personal Mandela effects. So things that I know were different in the past, but now they've always been this way. So is that projection? No, it's just moving your attention over a step or two or three or four or a bunch. It's usually harder the farther away, you are from where you want to be. A lot of times it takes a series of steps to get you there, to get you to where you want to be. But sometimes people have managed to just jump into their preferred state. Talk to what happens in the quantum jumping. There's two ways that I've heard of people doing this, accomplishing this. Is they go and jump to their alternative self that already has all that going on, that they want going on. Say you want a particular kind of business. There's some version of you that knows how to run that business, knows exactly how to do, exactly how you were successful at that business. Okay, so you can actually find that version of you and say, how did you do that? And by applying that information, you can become that version of you. And there are people who have done this, who say they have done this, and they have ended up making, their dream life this way. The other way is you actually just move into that particular reality. You move your awareness there and you keep it there. And that, I would say you got to be careful. I've done it a few times when sometimes you got to make sure you're in the right one. And this could just simply be something I've got to work out within myself, because sometimes I get this and then this has changed and I don't like that's changed. So a few times I've done it and it may just be something I need to work on in myself, but it hasn't always had perfect results. It seems like it's better if you do this step by step, like a step at a time, a step over at a time, a step closer at a time to what you really want to be, to give your conscious self time to adjust to it. Okay, because your conscious self is where your ego is, and your ego is going to go, okay, it's going to be going, oh, come on. Okay, it's going to become a generating idiot because everything is changing and it doesn't understand, and that's not what it does. What its job is please don't try and kill you. Don't try and kill your ego. Don't do that. Your ego, what it's trying to do, it's just trying to keep you alive. It's just trying to keep your soul and your body together, okay? That's what it wants to do. Now, sometimes it doesn't really know enough to be able to do that efficiently. So killing your ego, I don't approve of that. I really don't. Just let it do its job. Calm it down. Give it a good job to do, a job that it knows how to do. Don't let it drive the car. It's a great crossing guard. Don't let it drive your car. It can tell you, don't cross the street now. There are cars coming. But, it is not big enough to see very far in the distance. Your larger self can do that. Your larger self can see everything that's going on up ahead. So just let your ego take care of what it's supposed to take care of, keeping your body alive, right? But don't let it stop you from doing what's going to make your soul feel whole. So, what about past selves? Okay, well, I totally believe in that we have what we're calling past lives. Okay, I have absolutely no problem with that. We've probably had, I believe, some people say, I'm on my fifth, I'm on my sixth, you're probably on your 5,000th, okay, or maybe 5 millionth. Your soul is infinite. Do you really think you've only been around the block 5 times? First of all, you got to understand all time is now, all space is here. However, we perceive it in a linear fashion. So, whatever past lives you had, from our point of view, they are the past. But really, in reality, they are continuing even right now. They are happening concurrently with this life. And many great thinkers have come up with this, and many of the very spiritual luminaries have said the same thing. We're actually living them all at once, but they look like past and they look like future. Is it possible to remember them? Sure it is. And people do it all the time. And in places where they accept that, where they accept reincarnation, it's really not that unusual for people to remember. So basically, that life, you're still living it somewhere. You lived it. And also, when you think about time, now this is interesting because I used to write fiction, okay? And I like science fiction and fantasy. But when you write something like a time travel story, you really got to think about this. You really got to think this through. Because if it's true that all time is one, you can really tie yourself up in some good knots with that one. And if you realize that, if you go back far enough, you're part of an oversoul that's split into many different shards to have many different experiences. You can really tie yourself up in knots with that one. You can get very confused. There will never be now, unlike TV shows, some certain TV shows, you never have to worry about creating a paradox. The whole thing about if you go traveling the dimensions and you meet yourself, you might both cancel each other out. That is complete bullshit. You will never meet the same exact version of yourself. You can't. It's not possible. It's just not possible. Yes. Right. Exactly, Cheddar Swiss. So you basically have so many choices And don't worry about ever running into yourself, becoming your own grandfather or whatever. You might worry about your grandmother or whatever. I mean, you are your own grandmother in a way because we are all part of the same thing. But no, you're, this part of you that's you is still going to be you. So, and you're not going to destroy yourself. I hate to tell you, but you're eternal. No, I love telling you you're eternal. Actually, telling people, hey, you know what? I know this perfect. I mean, I really, looking and doing the kind of traveling, the kind of work I do, we're eternal. How do we know we're eternal? We know we're eternal because we can remotely travel to different places anywhere. Yes. When you learn to remote view or remotely travel to places, which I can do, and I help other people do that too. We do have that kind of practice here sometimes. And of course, I go to Max Vision class where we practice it all the time, remote viewing. But I can also remote locate, bilocate. So I'm no, I'm bilocating. I can be in more than one place at a time, and I've actually solved certain things by bilocating. So if you can do that, and if we can travel to any time in the past, any time in the future, any event, then we're forever, we exist everywhere. We're non-local. You have no worries that you're ever going to end. You cannot end. It's not possible. So, yeah, you can, this heavy can end, but it will then be recycled into something else. And we have little creatures here that are happy to do that work, bacteria and so on, that are just happy to recycle your body for you once you're done with it. Your little Abby goes back and becomes something else. So, yeah, the spirit will always survive. You never have to worry about this. Well, thank you, Rebecca. I'm so glad that you're enjoying yourself your first time here. This is your first time here, right? Because I don't think you've been here before. So, yeah, I have been to other places. I've been to other versions of me. I've been out of my body. I have bilocated. I have remotely affected things. I have remotely viewed things. I have done all of these things, and I can tell you this all exists. This is all waiting for you, and this is all possible for you. Isn't this wonderful? And one of the ways that you can speed this along for yourself is the mind, heart, brain, the mind, brain, heart, brain, and gut brain coherence. This is what they tell me. Okay, this is what Greg Braden really was talking about. I saw a video about it, which spurred me to bring it up here. Because yes, it is one of the ways. Now, see, I used to belong to about 7 metaphysical societies. No, about 3 different metaphysical societies at one time, a long time ago. I learned everything I could. I sucked up every bit of information I could from every famous author that they had coming through there, any of them. And I met many. I met many authors. I met many luminaries. I just sucked up the information like a sponge, as much of it as I could, because I am that kind of person. I love information. I love knowledge. You know, that is because um, my primary my primary life that I remember the best is being a librarian on the library world. And I have mentioned this on the show before, and someday I'll explain that again for people who are new. But I, if you are the kind of person who just sucks up knowledge, chances are this is where you come from. And I will only call it the library planet, library world. because the name wouldn't make any sense to you anyway, not from this context. But hey, Michelle Canham Free, how you doing? So it doesn't matter what the name of it is. It wouldn't translate to English anyway, except to call it the library world. And it's a might classify it as a hall of records. There were hints of this given by Thoth, Amenti. It would be something like that. I'm not sure it is the same Amenti he was talking about, but I suspect it might be. I expect that might actually be Amenti. So, and I remember that place, and I remember working there because in that time, in that place, we do the kind of jobs that we like. We do things because we like to do them. And yet, everything gets done. We do not toil. We do not hate our work. We do not get up in the morning hating going to work. We don't really feel like we're ever working exactly at all. We go in and we do things and we love doing these things. And this is the kind of life I would like to see you having. This is the kind of life I would like to have in this life. This is the kind of life I would like my awareness to be in. I came in on, and no, that's not going to translate well. One of the reasons I'm here is to help people get there. Okay. One of the reasons I'm back here. This is actually, from our viewpoint, a future place. Okay. A future version of Earth that, of course, also can exist concurrently because all time is really now, but it would appear from here to be a future Earth. Okay. That's the best way I can explain it. Hey, lady Spellbreaker. Really? Oh my goodness. Let's work on that. Let's work on that. Yes, because this can help you get, yes, control your vagus nerve. Yes, this can help normalize it. Oh, very good that you showed up for this one. Very, very good. Yes, so glad to see you. And you know what? I used to have some problems too. I am so much more full of life now than I was at one point. One point, I swear I was sure I was going to die. I even had visions of how I was going to die again. So, because I had a dream, a prophetic dream of the time I died the first time in this life. So, and it came out just exactly that way. So, this time I'm seeing visions that I'm going to die, and I'm like, oh, I better change this because I got stuff I want to do. And I don't want to have to come back here, start all over again, do it all over again. I want to get her done, right? I don't want to have to come back. I sure don't want to have to go through being a kid and all that stuff again. Vegas, right. We're going to Vegas. I see, said the blind man as he picked up his hammer and saw. He must have been a carpenter. Okay, so I'm getting a kind of a, okay. There's a breathing technique that'll go with this. But right now, I want you, or you don't have to do a thing, but it would be nice, it would be good, I think, if you touched your heart, where your heart is, which, due to a Mandela effect, is not where it used to be on the left, but a little bit more to the middle. If the Mandela effects don't make you know that this is a simulation, nothing will. It's one of the ways we know, we can know that this is a simulation. Oh, and by the way, I should say this. I try to say it every show as a disclaimer. This is just tips, tricks, and hacks for playing that massively multiplayer holofractal total immersion VR learning game called Life on Planet Earth. It has nothing to do with real life, which takes place outside the Matrix. Okay. Touch where your heart is now. And, put your hand over the heart, like when we used to say the Pledge of Allegiance. And just kind of breathe into your heart. And imagine that you're breathing with your heart. And take some long, slow breaths. I don't want to do too much of this because you'll go into trance and then go into sleep and then I'll lose you. But just feel that and feel around and see if you can feel where that heart brain is. And I kind of feel mine up in the high heart area. The color for that would be magenta. Color for the heart is generally considered to be green. So green and magenta. Now that's interesting because that is exactly the colors of ruby zoisite, which I'm very attracted to. Yeah, the zoisite is green. The ruby, of course, is the magenta color. Ruby zoisite, a beautiful stone. So that's why I'm interested. Okay, I love that stone. So just get in touch with that area and let it listen to this. Lots of singing, yes. You know what? And singing is very good for it. Oh, I'm very sorry, of course, to hear about your daughter, but I do understand that deaths and things can do that. To a person can disrupt many things. This is what we call soul loss, what the shamans call soul loss, is when you leave a piece of yourself elsewhere. So this can help you get a piece of yourself back. Get your peace back. Getting your peace back can get your peace back for you. Getting your soul peace back can help you get your peace back. Interesting, isn't it? Yes. It's always hard to lose a child. It's hard to lose anyone dear to you, but outliving your children is very hard. That is very, very difficult. Well, then you really do need this. Wow. What perfect timing. What divine timing. Okay. How far along are we? We're an hour in. Good. Yeah, I do a lot of singing. And I do a lot of singing outside. Oh, I wanted to mention this is so cool. if my mind speaking is right, and I'm getting more confident with it, I am mind speaking Bigfoot, the local Bigfoot. And they have always loved my singing because I used to sing outside all the time. I used to sometimes just go into the forest and play my guitar and sing to practice out in the forest. They loved it. They tell me that they're telling me they always love that and they miss it. So I need to go out and do that again. But the other day I know I'm pretty sure they left some markers that they're using our ravine, that they use our ravine as a way to travel so they can't be seen. And because I'm kind of out in the country, I'm like on the edge of the country, so we have a lot of trees, we have deep ravines, we have streams and stuff. It's perfect for them. Um, and as I'm singing, I smell this very musky aroma coming up from the ravine. And I'm thinking to myself, I think I got an audience, you know, and I'm getting that they really love to hear the singing, the vibration. They love that. So, you know, go outside and sing to nature. Nature loves to hear it. The birds were singing with me. The geese came by and honked with me, and it was really nice. The frogs were, when the frogs are, it's so funny when I'm out and the frogs are croaking and everything is doing its thing. The birds are singing and, the geese are honking overhead and, all of this. And it's like, and I'm singing and it's like, this big orchestra. It's really amazing. Yeah, the Bigfoot. Yeah. Oh, don't be afraid. Not around here. I mean, I'm not afraid around here. That is to say, I guess not all big feet are as benevolent as ours are here. So you got to be careful. Some places they are not so nice. They're like people. Some places they're very nice, and some places they're not so nice, like people, right? Some places are more like Chicago or Flint, Michigan, and some places are, you know, more or much nicer, right? So, I mean, some places you got to fear for your life, and some places you don't. So, you got to check out. But I'm mind speaking these guys, and they're pretty mellow with me, at least with me. But then again, I don't do things to bother them. I don't do things that would anger them either. I mean, I'm not that kind of person. I don't go seeking their stuff and tearing them up or trying to hunt them or trying to bother them unnecessarily or, I just send everything love when I'm out there, which they really enjoy. So they tell me that they love me. They love seeing me out there. They actually love hearing me sing, and they have been watching me my whole life, even as a child. They knew me as a child, and I never even knew that that's who I was singing to or talking to. So don't be afraid of them out of hand. I mean, now if your gut tells you to watch out, then watch out. Here we go. But my gut's telling me they're okay. They're fine. They're not going to do me any kind of harm. As a matter of fact, they've kept me from harm at times. And if they like you, they will. And I've heard this from people who have been close to them, that they will actually keep you from harm if they can help you, if there is some kind of harm coming your way. So, and they did that in a very big way a few years back. And someday I'll talk about that again, but now that's not for tonight. So, Canadian geese, yes. Yes, Canadian geese, they were extremely polite. And when I said, "How do you know the words?" And they said, "Eh? I know the words, eh?" No. They didn't say that. They didn't say anything like that. It just honked. We get lots of Canadian geese here. Yeah, go back to Canada. Go back to Canada, you geese. Go back to Canada, you hosers. Ah, so you think you can fly over our skies anytime you like, eh? What's that all about? I'm kidding, Michelle. I hope you realize I'm teasing you. I love Canada. Actually, I used to visit Canada all the time. I was thinking of moving to Canada. I'm kind of glad I didn't because of all those troubles you guys have had. But really, I was thinking of moving to Canada. I loved it so much. Yeah, don't hurt me, Michelle. Don't hurt me. You're not a goose. No, yeah, I know what they mean though. The Canadian geese can be aggressive. They really can. There was a family, goose family, that made their home in a parking lot and they had to fence off a section of the parking lot to keep people away from them from getting hurt. Because I mean they'd attack cars. It's like you don't want to get on the wrong side of Canadian geese, a flock of Canadian geese. And boy, you know, um, eh? Oh, you live in Wisconsin. Oh, but you're Canadian now. You live in Wisconsin. Yeah, when they get territorial, it's just all it's it's all over. They're they're gonna come after you. It's how they name Canada. Yep, they get defensive of their territory. That's right. They put all the consonants of the alphabet in a hat. It's Canada. Canada. Eh? Okay. I love Canada. It's beautiful, really. We used to go to my dad used to take us to he loved Niagara Falls. He did. He loved Niagara Falls. He loved we had to go on the Space Needle. We had to go, you know, we had to go look at the falls up close. We had to um eat at the Chinese restaurants and go to Ripley's Believe It or Not and do all of the touristy stuff every single time we went there. And then we'd go out into the countryside and get stuff to eat and look at the horticultural gardens and I don't know, do other stuff. It was it's beautiful there. Very clean. You lived in the falls. Oh, and you know what? It's funny. That's yeah, so I was right near there quite often. Yeah, we do have a beautiful planet. That's why I get pissed off when people F it up. We have a beautiful place here. See, you damn idiots, this is why we can't have anything nice. Because some people are idiots. Um, anyway, okay. Well, that's what it feels like. You guys, we had a nice place. What did you do? You know what really scares me as if anything would happen to our giant trees, the few that we have left. I've always had, and recently I've run into a few videos about how these trees are very important. Trees are extremely important to our grid, to the Earth grid system. And we don't have that many very, very old trees left. So, it, and I would love to I have been to the giant sequoias. I could easily see myself living there and feel like a tiny little fairy at the bottom of a very, very tall tree. That's how I felt. I felt like it was just a tiny little fairy looking up at this really tall tree. I couldn't see the top of it. It was all in the clouds. It's beautiful. Not literally in the waterfall. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Michelle, because that would be kind of a wet and soggy existence. Yep. Yeah, I've seen those falls up close. Wow. It's pretty impressive. Although half the water has been diverted away, I guess, for other things. But yeah, it's very impressive. Both sets of falls. Um, and if you haven't gone to see it, you should go at some point because it's gorgeous. And the mist and everything, it's very magical sort of place. Oh, really? Yeah. And that's it. It's like a lot. The sun would be out and it would be a thick mist. It'd be like you were in a cloud. And there was almost always a rainbow over Rainbow Falls, which is why they called it that. When the sun would hit it just right, the rainbow would always pop out over Rainbow Falls. It was gorgeous. Yes, I know. I know about those tours. Now, I never went on the Maid of the Mist. I never got to do that, unfortunately. When I was a kid, I would have loved to do that, but my parents were not up for that. They didn't quite have the heart for that. But I got I I love to look at it. I would look at it for long periods of time. We'd we'd all would. We would all just stand there, just looking at how beautiful it was. Anyway, you know what? That's the kind of memory we need to hold in our minds. Is our awe at the beauty of this world. And that is the kind of awe and beauty with which we should be creating new earth. We should keep that feeling in our minds that this is how we're going to feel about every single aspect of new earth. Because I do believe we are going to see new earth. We are going to live. Most of us here, now I don't know, maybe some of you have contract to do something different. I believe I will live to see new earth and that I am designing it right now. I feel that we are designing new earth as we speak. So um, that is going to happen. That is, oh, cool. Your father was a captain on the Great Lakes. Now, see, that's close to where I am now. I'm in Kent, Ohio. Ohio's like right on the Great Lakes. We're just down from the Great Lakes Triangle. And then Gemini is in Michigan. She's on the lakes too. So, yeah. And the Great Lakes are magical too in their own way. And of course, we have the Great Lakes Triangle, which is just like the Bermuda Triangle as far as disappearances and stuff and strange things coming out of there. We also have a lot of what they call in USOs, submersible objects, Yeah. Unidentified submersible objects or whatever they call it. We've seen those. So yes. Oh, you knew it, Shutter. Oh, this year is going to be like 2020. Rouse Star 13 with a 13 sign astrology says this year is going to be like 2020. In what way? I mean, that could mean a lot of things. Oh, Saturn in Capricorn. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And when Pluto goes retrograde in Capricorn. Oh, whee! Yeah, a lot of stuff's going to happen. A lot of stuff's going to come down. Let me tell you, that's going to be wild. We've already got a Mercury retrograde just about to happen at the end of the month. So, yeah, we're going to have a wild spring and summer. I told everybody, grab your surfboard. This is going to be one you're going to have to ride because it's going to be wild. There's going to be all kinds of things happen. Absolutely. Work with the energy. Thank you, Rebecca. It's always good to hear that. Yes. Mary, I'm sure that a lot of you are working on this. Actually, maybe later in the show, before I put y'all to sleep into a trance. Before I do that, I should probably play a video, and there's some new folks here, so I'm going to play this video. So hang on. It's not very long. It's only about, it's just about 5 minutes. I have some pictures, some art that I did. I did some art. I hope you enjoyed that. It kind of makes me cry. I have a little tear in my eye, so it's going to be hard to read the comments. Every time I see that is all photographs and art based on my photographs and art. Yeah. Thank you. And that is all to bring forth that feeling of magic and what is possible for us. Because if you can imagine it, you can bring it forth. So if you liked that, it can be reality. If you liked any of the images in there, it can be part of our reality. Feel that strongly. That's why I made that. And when I finish that, I'm going to put it on the channel as a feature on its own. Thank you. Yeah, like I say, I have to be careful because sometimes I it's a little hard to work on too because I get kind of emotional when I work on it as well. But I'm going to do a longer version of that. I feel it's important for us to have images in our mind of what we want to be able to visualize it. And I really urge you to try and find visuals to look at that you can contemplate and use to enhance your creations. Thank you and hopeful. Thank you. The music is called actually the music I found, and it's called the Egypt Crawl because it's very slow. Yes. So I'm so glad that you like it because that's the feeling. What one of the things when it comes to creation, when it comes to manifesting, is you want the feeling of what you are going for. It's very important. That is the missing part of the secret, is the feeling. We're afraid of our feelings too often. People are afraid to feel, but it is the feeling that engages the manifestation to happen because it's our feelings that help power that manifestation. So if you can feel like I would feel, and this is not sadness, this is, I would say, it makes me feel like home. I did that so that I could feel like I'm finally home. I've made a home here, but that feels more like home than this place, actually. Yes. Yes, visuals are very good. So that's what I'm trying to do with that video. I'm trying to give us and everybody maybe some images that you can use, one or more, or maybe several, or maybe the whole thing, to help you get into that feeling of manifesting this beautiful new home that we're all going to enjoy. That always chokes me up. I didn't know I was going to get this emotional this time because I've seen that lots of times, but somehow this time it made me very, very emotional. So we're an hour, a little over an hour and a half in. I guess it's about time for me to do the meditation so that those of you who need to sleep can kind of go that way. Those of you who are going to stay awake for this, you know, some obviously not all of you are going to fall asleep to this, but some of you do when I do these meditations. So I was saving it to the last. So now I got to get myself back into the because I think perhaps I will be weeping tears of joy. Um, well, I'm not done yet. I'm trying to do the meditation, but it's very simple. If you want to do it all by yourself and you don't want to do it with everybody else, you breathe in to like a 6 count slowly and out slowly. First with your heart. You breathe into your heart and out with your heart. Then you breathe in with your head. You breathe into your head like you're breathing through your head. And you breathe out with your head. Then you breathe in with your heart again. Then you breathe out. Then you breathe in with your gut. And then you breathe out. And when you're doing your heart and your gut, it's good to touch them because that'll get your attention to go there. So so I'm going to do this brief meditation as a demonstration, and then I'm going to start to wrap it up because I try to keep it to 2 hours so that I can get some other things done, and then I'm going to be working on some other videos and stuff for you, some other things like that that I intend to do. I intend to do Ohio skies, things that I have taken photos of in the skies of Ohio. Some are very beautiful and some are very weird. So there's going to be one that's going to be what I've seen in the sky and what I've managed to take a picture of. Mm-hmm. I understand. You don't want to risk. You don't want to risk going to sleep. I don't blame you. Okay, but it goes like this, and I'll go through one repetition of it so that you can play it back and see how it goes. But it goes like this. It goes, you breathe in through your heart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the inward breath. Outward breath, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you breathe in through your head with your attention on your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you return to your heart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out. And then your gut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out. You keep returning to your heart, to your head again, to your heart, to your gut again, to your heart, to your head again, at least 10 times if you can. I'm not going to do it Yeah, I'm gonna try not to put people to sleep this time. But yeah, that's how it's done, supposedly, is to get the coherence between them. And if you meditate like that, you're finally going to get, and what you imagine is you imagine them linking up as you're doing that. So as you're going from your heart to your head, you're imagining a link. As you go from your head back to your heart, you're completing that circuit. As you go from your heart to your gut, you're imagining it, the link up. And then as you go back to your heart, it closes the circuit. And you just keep going like that in this big figure eight. Okay? Always hitting the heart in the middle of those. And as you do that, that is supposed to cause the coherence. And I hope you use this wisely and well, because it is supposed to soup up your manifesting abilities. And I hope you manifest good things. I hope you manifest very good things. But if you have any doubt, we'll be doing clearings and stuff on this channel to get rid of some of the things that may worry you that you're going to create. I do want to thank everybody in advance of, because I'm not quite going yet, but I do want to thank you for showing up and making the decision to show up and take this step to learn about this. And yes, this process does help ease the vagus nerve. So this is something that, how did they say it? Brings it into alignment, brings it into, normalizes it. There are different ways that they've said it, but it does help. Okay, so I've been doing it. I do feel a lot better. I am a lot more awake. I mean, I'm shocked that I'm awake at this hour. I haven't had an urge to sleep today. I usually have, for a long time, I've had to take naps. I haven't napped today. So I've been awake. So I'm far more energetic than I have been in a while. I hope this continues. So everybody who has come, thank you very much. I hope to see you tomorrow night about the same time. I might see if one day when it gets, I might start when the weather gets nice to do it. I might start doing this outside. Some things outside, but it would have to be earlier in the day. And then some of my guests, when I could bring them on, come on like 8 or maybe earlier. So just look for your notifications and click the all, click the bell and then click all notifications, and you'll get them, because there may be some coming in at different times than usual. But my usual time is Monday, Sunday, and Wednesday, about 10 p.m. Eastern time. Hope to see you, and may all your manifestations bring you joy. Don't forget that you are divine. Remember, the truth is where you find it. I hope you always find some here, because that's what I'm working on all the time. Tell people you love them. And never fear. You are eternal. You will go on. Okay. I said I would install this program. You can just say yes to this. The unlimited power of my subconscious is solving every issue in my life. The unlimited power of my vast subconscious is solving every issue in my life. So be it. As I speak it, so it is. As I speak it, so it is. All right. Use some version of that. Unravel all of your issues so that you can focus on the good stuff. With that, I'm just about to leave you here. Okay. Thank you all for coming. Please don't forget to like if you like, and leave a comment later. It helps the algorithms find me, although I know I'm kind of shadow banned because people have told me they haven't seen me, even though they've got me subbed and they've got all. Sometimes you have to go in there, unsubscribe, resubscribe, click the all to get it, or just click the all again. No, unclick it and click it. YouTube is a funny old thing, so just realize that's not me. I don't block. I haven't blocked anybody in ages. Nobody but outright trolls ever have gotten blocked here. And outright troublemakers and people, there's some people that you just have to do that, but I haven't done it in ages now. So I don't do that. So you're never going to be blocked unless you've really done something worthy of it. And so never think that that's what's happening. Okay, it's an honor to be with you, and it's an honor to be for you to give me your time and your ear. Thanks. Okay, I'll see you again. Much love.